again, and thank you for joining today's event. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available to all registrants. All attendees will be on mute during the presentation, but any questions or any technical issues can be sent by typing in the chat or question box in your attendee panel. And again, thank you for joining us for introducing Progressus PSA, built in the Microsoft Cloud, for people who use Microsoft Office. My name is Dave Wallen. I run marketing for Progressus PSA. Joining me are Rich Fowler, who leads our sales efforts and partner programs. Say hi, Rich. Rich, you may be on mute.
I was. Sorry about that. Hi, guys. I almost hit the disconnect button. Didn't mean to do that.
And Robbie Morrison, our Chief Solution Strategist. You there, Robbie?
I am. Hello, everyone.
All right. So our goal today is to introduce you to Progressus PSA, a complete business solution for professional service firms and project-based businesses built in the Microsoft Cloud and designed for people who use Microsoft Office. We're going to start with a discussion of the common challenges business in the industry face and look at the marketplace for solutions. We'll then get into what's different about our solution, explain what we mean by the power of P3. We'll discuss and demonstrate some of the more interesting capabilities of Progressus PSA and talk a little about the people behind it, and then leave some time at the end for your questions. So if that all makes sense, let's move into challenges and options. And Rich and Robbie, why don't you kick things off?
I will start with that. So let's talk about some of the challenges that project-based professional services automation businesses face today. And I won't read all of those to you. You get the idea, but there are some things that matter. You know, first and foremost, project costs, margins, whether or not we're making money. If I can track my project costs, if I can track my margins, if I can make sure I know what I'm doing as I go through the project, then I can determine which projects I want to chase because I know which ones are profitable and valuable. I can also determine, and this may be more important, which projects I don't want to chase because I lose money on them. That can be the difference between being in business and out of business. The second box, billing and timely billing and timesheets, maybe that should be reversed because without timesheets there is no billing. So the ability for your people to get timesheets in a timely manner, to get the information in and correct with the right attachments, the right notes, all the things that are necessary to make it able for you to bill your customers in a timely manner, then that's another huge challenge that we can help with. Resource allocation, resource availability. Many PSA solutions on the market talk about resource allocation and talk about availability, but don't give you the ability to see where you are and see where your people are, what skills they might have, how many hours they have available, what they've already been planned against, those kinds of things that are key to knowing how you can staff the projects that you have coming in and what projects you may want to take on as you come forward. I won't read the rest of them to you. The last box, though, is very important, the inefficient and disconnected systems. So that's a big deal because inefficient and disconnected systems cost you money, whether it's double entry, whether it's duplication of effort, duplication of entry that often leads to mistakes, duplication of maintenance on multiple systems. You know, it all comes down to time, money, and credibility in front of your customers, and those things matter. When you can go to something like this, which is an all-in-one solution, then now you can eliminate that inefficient and disconnected systems problem. And we actually have a customer that we'll talk about in a bit that came to us, and that was a key pain point. They came to us with 6 different systems for 6 different pieces of their business. The headaches that they encountered were massive, and we'll talk about how we fix some of those. But Dave, I think I digress. You want to?
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, so like Rich said, the key to addressing many of the business issues that you face is having modern connected systems. You know, many companies are saddled with systems that just don't scale. Limited accounting packages like QuickBooks with lots of manual processes and heavy use of Excel. Many also take advantage of inexpensive cloud PSA solutions that can help to automate some processes, but these often have limited ceilings and generally don't integrate with other systems, and that leads to more manual data entry and more spreadsheets. You know, the biggest category of solutions currently in use are the classic legacy software packages, and many of these provide strong functionality, but they are expensive. They require significant upfront capital investment. because they were designed in the pre-cloud era, they often contain older code. Configuration, customization, remote access integration is also very costly and complex, and ongoing support costs tend to run high as well. Over the past few years, the market share for these storied names like Dell Tech and Sage have been shrinking. Market trends are moving towards what we call true cloud solutions, and we use that term true cloud in reference to modern solutions architected ground up for the cloud. No pun intended. Many legacy software providers offer what they refer to as cloud solutions, but in reality, these is the same basic software hosted in a dedicated cloud environment and billed monthly instead of billed up front as a software and service. True cloud solutions are going to leverage modern cloud architecture to be faster and easier to deploy, configure, and integrate with. When we look at these modern options, we kind of look at them in four different categories, right? The first is what we call pure PSA. There's no integration. You have to integrate to a back-end financials package or a CRM package, but they provide you with all of that project management and accounting capabilities you have, and they're made to integrate easily with those. Then there's what we call more PSA. Some of these PSA pure players, if you will, also provide some kind of a GL capability, maybe not overly robust, but enough for most professional services to get through. Then we've got what we call our end-to-end professional services. That's PSA and project accounting with finance and CRM all integrated into a single platform. And for pure professional services firms like management consulting or accounting, where all the revenue comes from services, this is the optimal solution. Then there's kind of a little heavier. There's the full ERP end-to-end, and if you're in a vertical sub-industry where products and materials need to be managed, whether you're manufacturing themselves or you're distributing those through your supply chain capabilities, that's what the end-to-end full ERP provides. And when you evaluate all of these solutions, you're going to see a number of common themes. Right. Well, for one, you'll probably see an image like this that I call the IntelliGlobe. Tell you knowledge and action for your organization across the globe, globally. I'm sure Rich and Robbie have seen these same things. And all these solutions will claim some level of these 5 factors, right? So scalable. And as we know, many solutions don't scale, whether they claim to or not, and that's whether they're limited functionality, whether the number of users and performance is limited, whether there's an amount of data at some point where it stops to perform well, or what have you. And as a cloud native, as I said, many legacy solutions will have what they call cloud versions, but they're not really designed for the cloud. They're just priced in a SaaS model and hosted in that dedicated private cloud environment. So you want to be careful that your cloud solution is a true cloud solution. You're always going to see end-to-end. And many solutions do claim, will claim, say they offer all the business functionality you need in a single platform, and some of them actually do. But more often, as we just saw, even in the true cloud solutions, they require integration to other systems. They position themselves as having simple integration to your other systems, and that they will act as your central application, your front end for operations and visibility and insight into what's going on, right? And they will all claim simple integration, but what exactly is simple integration? Has anyone ever been part of a simple integration project? In fact, modern software integration is significantly simpler than legacy software, but you still have to dig in, see what's meant by simple integration, what that's going to require, what that's going to add to complexity and cost in your project. And visibility insight. This is really important, and the benefit of a true end-to-end system is twofold. Right? On the one side, you get the more efficient processes, and that's going to streamline your effectiveness. You're going to be more efficient. You're going to reduce costs. Plus, you get that ability to more easily manage and manipulate the data generated by all those processes, and that's going to provide the enhanced visibility and insight that's a key driver for a lot of these solutions. So what's different about Progressus PSA? And there's a lot, and for the most part, Rich is going to really talk about that when he gets into the what's different and what's special. But I do want to highlight a couple of key factors about the industry that underpin what Progressus is all about, and one of them is people centricity. Just about every company will say that their value is in their people, but for professional services firms and project-based businesses, this is not sentiment, right? It's math. and in how we envision Progressus PSA and in how it was envisioned and in our continuing development, we focus not just on improving process, insight, and visibility and the impact that all of that's going to have on the organization as a whole, but on how people in the industry use technology to improve how they work as individuals and teams. The second thing, really important factor, is that we know that Microsoft tools and technologies are widely used in the industry, and that people who work in the industry, from line staff to administrative folks, executives, IT teams, they find these tools familiar and comfortable to use and support. Now, I'm sure you know, and everybody knows, that Microsoft Office 365 is the clear leader in productivity solutions. 95% of the market uses Office for their productivity tools. But you may not know that just within the industry, Microsoft is also the leader in collaboration with Skype for Business, the leader in knowledge management, as SharePoint primarily, and in business intelligence platforms. So, and all this is from the most recent SPI Professional Services Maturity Benchmark Survey and Report from this year. So it's up to date, it's active. People run this industry, and people in this industry use Microsoft. So, that's the high level, but what's the detail? What's really different about Progressus PSA? And I think Rich Fowler is going to tell you all about that.
Thanks, Dave. Now, from the Progressus PSA side, it's the power of P to the 3, and more specifically, it's people-centric cloud power. So what does that mean? Progressus PSA is people-centric cloud power for emerging professional services firms and project-based businesses, people that need an enterprise-class, end-to-end business solution, but don't want to invest in costly, complex, disruptive enterprise software projects. Progressus drives your business with the power of 3. People-centricity powers productivity. I won't say it twice because I don't know that I can't. Designed for Microsoft Office 365, Progressus PSA provides people the power to tailor their own work experiences and boost productivity with familiar tools they already use. And we're going to talk about those and actually show those in just a second. That is huge. Process power. Designed for Microsoft 365, Progressus PSA provides the power to tailor their own work experiences and boost productivity. End-to-end 365 business process support, natively unified business management functionality, including core financials and CRM, business intelligence and analytics, collaboration capabilities, and productivity tools, and the power of the platform. Built on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central and native to the Microsoft Intelligent Cloud, one security model, one data model, and a common user interface for all of your business and productivity applications. With a platform that enables maximized personal productivity, optimized processes, enhanced visibility across the entire business, you get greater utilization, greater project quality, a better customer experience, and most importantly, profitability. It's P to the power of 3, and that's the power of Progressus. We can talk about all of those, but more importantly, let's show those. I think it's more fun to get into the software and talk about the things that we're mentioning here. So let me get into actual live software. We'll do that. Let it refresh for just a second. I will have to log in. Now this is live software on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. I'll log in, I'll put my password in, and it brings up Dynamics 365 Business Central for me. Well, one of the first things we talked about was the ability to personalize and give you the ability to do your own thing in your world, but still give the organization control over the things that they want you to do. So in Microsoft Dynamics 365, if we look at it, it should look very familiar. Now, the first thing we talk about is role centers. So if I hit my settings button at the top, we're going to come in, and it gives us the ability to choose who we are. With Dynamics 365 Business Central, you get the ability to choose the role center and to both standardize and customize, or more effectively personalize, the role center for your people. So with Dynamics 365 straight out of the box, you get more than 25 different role centers that are available to you that are pre-built, pre-configured, and are there ready to go, that cover a large percentage of the personnel in the average professional services organization. So whether it be from the accounting manager through the bookkeeper through sales order through, you get the idea. I'm not going to read them all, but you see who's there. You get more than 25 directly out of the box. Because we are specific to the professional services automation market, we added some more, in this case 5 more, that are very specific to professional services automation. So whether it's the accounting manager for the project side, a line manager, think supervisor, a project executive, someone who may be over more than one project and may not need approval ability, but needs the ability to see into multiple projects and have multiple access. You can be a project executive, you can be a project manager, and you can be just a basic time and expense user. Now the difference there is what they see. If I'm logged in right now as a time and expense user, which is how I'm logged in, you will see that this user, and I'm just going to stay right here with that one, you will see that this user has very little information in front of them. They have the tiles that they're used to with Windows, with Microsoft. I know what the tile feels like. I can configure the tiles. I can put tiles out. I can move tiles in, and I can do timesheets and expense reports. That may be all that this user needs access to. And if they're an approver, I have a notification that tells me that they have expense reports waiting for approval. But if I'm more than just a time and expense entry user, let's say in this case I am a project executive, then I need to see more than just that information. So if I change my role center and say I am this person, now when I log in, you'll see a lot more information. So number one, you see a lot more in the ribbon at the top, and this should feel a lot like Office. I've got my ribbons at the top. I've got buttons that I can make things happen with the button. I can hover over things, and it will bring out resource lists. It will bring out reports. I've got the ability to do any number of reports, but it all looks very familiar. So from a personalization side, I've got the ability to just out of the box know who I am and work to the things that I'm going to work to. But we want to take that a step further yet. So if I come out and I say I want to look at projects, let's just look for a second. If I open the projects that are out there, number one, this brings up my project list, all the projects that this user has the ability to see. I can see an awful lot of information. I have a ton of information across the top. I have budget information and the stoplight configuration on the far right, so I can tell whether or not the project is going well, the project is not going well. Red, yellow, green indicates good, bad, or indifferent, and I can see that. Maybe I want to see more. I also have the ability to either design for the entire organization or personalize my specific view into that information. So if I want to do something for the entire organization, I can hit designer, and it's going to come out and give me the ability, if I've been given access, to design things, whether I need to move things around. I want to move blocks. Maybe the project number should come over here. Maybe the cost type isn't necessary. So as I look at this, I can see there are only a few. Maybe I don't want that cost type in there. If I want to simply remove that from my view, I have the ability to set it there or remove it. And I can do that for the entire organization. But I can take it further. Maybe I want to add a field. So there's a field that I need to add. Well, what is that field? I have any number of fields. Actually, there are hundreds, and the more I roll down, the more it refreshes and adds more. You have an awful lot of fields available to you, and if I don't want to search through the list, I always have the ability simply to hit that and pop it up, and let's just say I want to see if it's over budget. So I can put in a field that lets me check over budget or not and set it so that the project either can or cannot go over budget, and then you've got some rules that can go with that. I can move boxes, I can move pieces, parts around, I can do all of that for the entire organization as designer, or had I gone in under personalized, I would have the same ability, and let's just get out of that. I would have the same ability, but just for my specific role center. Wouldn't affect anybody else in the organization. The other thing that makes this very easy, and this is a way to talk about some things that we can hit later, I can see how this is going to look on a tablet or on a phone. So if I want to know what this looks like on my phone, I can simply hit this and it shows me what this may look like on my phone. And now I can see if the changes that I make, do I not need this? Do I want to personalize from the phone view as well? Can do those things too. So you've got the ability to make it do what you need it to do to make it look the way you want it to look in a very familiar, very easy to do. And Dave mentioned coding projects and integration. You noticed I used no code. I'm not a coder. I don't have to be a coder. I need to be able to move things that I want to move and see the things that I want to see, whether it's for the organization if I've got the ability, or just for me to make my job easier and to increase my own productivity. We've talked about Office 365, the world's leading productivity software. We can use familiar Office 365 tools to work together, and let me go back out here just so we can kind of follow along. We can use those familiar Office 365 tools to work together and connect with colleagues and customers. That's a big deal, colleagues and customers. Not everybody talks about that. You know, we get to create professional looking documents, customizable Microsoft templates, whether it's Word, Excel, whatever. We can easily export and update data in Microsoft Excel. We get the ability to shorten time from quote to cash when you can set up customers or vendors, create quotes, submit time and expense, and submit invoices, all without ever leaving Outlook. The idea is not to make people learn new software. It's to give them the power to boost their own productivity with familiar tools they already use. The idea to work from anywhere on whatever device, I mentioned that just a second ago, whether it is a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, a phone, it's the same consistent, secure experience with the platform. And you can access client information. You can review project information. You can review financial status. You can approve time and expenses, manage project budgets on whatever device, wherever business takes you, obviously with the right security. And that talks about the role-based access. Whether it's through Outlook, the web browser, or mobile apps, the role centers provide quick access to your most important tasks and display various insights and key performance indicators about your specific work. Whether you're creating new or leveraging existing role centers, we talked about the project executive, the project manager, all the ones that we have added to the 25 plus that come right out of the box. So not only can you choose to work through Outlook or the app, customize, personalize, it's all your workspace to suit your work and your preferences by changing so that you can change the pages to display only the information you need where you need it. And then creating your own automated workflows, unique functionality giving anyone the ability to build and implement their own automated workflows. Workflows and automation improve productivity. You get more done and get more done with easy to create workflows, audit trails, keeping that enterprise level security. Built-in workflow templates can easily be modified within the application, and then you can use Microsoft Flow to allow you to extend those workflows through and beyond Office 365, Dynamics 365, Azure, and more. And this is probably another good choice and an opportunity to get back into software. So we're talking about workflows, we're talking about the ability to do things. We see in the workflows, if I come back up to my projects, you know, whether it's workflow on the accounting side through invoicing or purchase orders, whether it's workflow in the project side, whether it's workflow in time and expense, the ability is there and the choices are yours. So specifically in the project side, if I want to look at, let's just open one. If I want to look at the project side and I want to see my workflow capabilities, from just basic workflow, I have the ability to hit alerts and to tell people what's going on as the project progresses. I can put whatever project alert amount is important to me on this project, and I can be alerted when we get near or over that project amount. I can do the same thing with tasks, and then you notice the over budget that we added earlier. I can either allow or not allow that to go over budget. You do also have the ability to set up multi-level workflows for both time and expense, and those can be different. So whether it is from the user to a manager to a project manager to a project executive to the accounting department or any combination thereof, you've got multi-level approvals throughout the process. And then we did mention Microsoft Flow. Just as an example, if I open the Microsoft website, I can look at the templates that are available from Flow, and this is specific to Dynamics 365 Business Central. And there are already a ton of flows that are created and ready out there for you to go download and apply directly to your application, whether it's Business Central as I have it sorted here, or if I just want to show all the flows that are available. Hundreds of flows become available, and you can see all the things that are out there, whether it's by, we talked about approval, and that's what we're talking about now, the approvals that are available. If I want to do it by email, if I want to do it by productivity, whatever makes your life easier, you have that ability, and Microsoft Flow is one of the features in Dynamics 365 Business Central, and you can use that from day one. So that talks a little bit about the workflow and gives us an example of how that happens. Let's go back out here. We talk about that Microsoft integration. This is a simple integration to Microsoft Project. So yes, you can integrate to Microsoft Project. We talked about the phone. We've actually shown the phone, so we don't have to do too much with that. The process power of end-to-end 365. This is the only solution with end-to-end 365 business process support, encompassing the entire business management functionality, and that includes core financials and CRM. It's business intelligence and analytics, it's collaboration capabilities, and productivity tools. It provides you with unparalleled levels of process optimization, control, and insight across your business. And it's beyond services. You get the complete ERP capabilities, including enterprise-class supply chain, manufacturing, and service order management capabilities. From an automation side, you can automate any process. Your automated processes can incorporate and seamlessly flow across all applications, CRM, ERP, and PSA functionality across business intelligence and analytics, collaboration and communication, and personal productivity tools. And optimized visibility, this is a true level 5 solution. So the highest level of business process maturity is level 5, classified as optimized, where core applications and services are integrated to efficiently surface and report data to enable continuous measurement and transformation of the business. Progressus is the only unified system for small and medium businesses that can give you the power to automate processes and provide the real-time information within and across the business functions you need to achieve and maintain that level 5 certification. And when we talk about things like that, things like personalized dashboards to provide insights across the business. This is specifically Microsoft Power BI, and you can see it's a dashboard, but it's a live dashboard, and it gives you the ability to slice and dice data from multiple sources to the way that it works for you to give you the information you need at any particular time. And then the power of the platform. We've been talking about Microsoft, but built on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central and being native to the Microsoft Intelligent Cloud, the most effective or most cost-effective platform for small and medium businesses. It's easy to deploy, it's simple to configure and manage, and it's unique in how it can virtually eliminate the cost and complexity of deployment and integration. From the Intelligent Cloud side, the Microsoft Intelligent Cloud built on Microsoft Azure, encompassing Microsoft services including Office 365, Dynamics 365, Power BI, Flow, Power Apps, including AppSource, which is an entire ecosystem of approved and certified add-ons and applications. Now, I showed you a moment ago just the Flow piece of that ecosystem. AppSource is an entire new world. Multi-language, multi-currency, the platform can support your business operations locally and globally, regardless of where you are in the world. And a huge one, secure, private, and compliant. The Microsoft Intelligent Cloud is an energy-efficient infrastructure, spans more than 100 highly secure facilities worldwide, linked by one of the largest networks on Earth. Microsoft leads the industry in establishing clear security and privacy requirements and then consistently meeting those requirements. Azure meets a broad set of international and industry-specific compliance standards. There's GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, ISO 27001, HIPAA, FedRAMP, SOC 1, SOC 2. There are also some country-specific standards, Australia's IRAP, the UK's G-Cloud, Singapore MTCS, lots of rigorous third-party audits, such as those done by the British Standards Institute, verify Azure's adherence to the strict security controls that all of these standards mandate. It's secure. And then native interoperability. The native interoperability between CRM, ERP, and PSA functionality, Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft SharePoint, Microsoft Office 365, and all the products inside Office 365, plus other Dynamics 365 and Azure hosted applications, means that processes and data can flow through all apps and all services with no coding or complex integration. Going to get to that in a second. The platform's common data service is an Azure-based business application platform. It does the heavy lifting of bringing together your data so you can simply deliver insights and process automation that matters to you. Integration beyond the Microsoft Intelligent Cloud is simple. You get easy-to-use standard technologies like Flow, Azure Logic Apps, RESTful web services, and more. And it's modular and extensible. You start with what you need and grow at your own pace. Run your entire business in the cloud the way you want to do it. You can add additional Microsoft Dynamics 365 apps for more comprehensive sales, marketing, customer service, field service, talent capabilities. You can leverage pre-built applications through Microsoft AppSource, the online marketplace for cloud business apps, where the largest community of developers continue to expand the platform with new industry and business functionality. You can use Power Apps and Microsoft Flow to compose new applications and simply extend existing business processes, or you can leverage extensions and extensions 2.0 to develop more specialized or more advanced functionality. It's one cloud, one security model, one data model, and a common user interface for all of your business and productivity applications. And there are probably two things that I can show that will drive that point home. So bear with me and let's go back to software. Two ways that I can drive that home. If I want to go back to my home screen and we want to talk about the assistance that you can get and the interoperability between the two. So let's talk about interoperability and across the platform support. If I want to talk about the ERP, the CRM, the PSA, all of those things working together, I can come to our project wizard and I can show all of that working together in one space. So let's say I needed to create a new project as the project manager. One of the complaints that we got from folks who are looking to get off of current legacy systems is it takes a while and it takes some complexity to create projects in those older legacy-based systems. So one of our goals was to make sure that it wasn't complex and it wasn't time-consuming, yet you could still standardize and still account for the uniqueness of specific projects. So we think we've done that, and we'll just kind of walk through it. I can choose a number series if I want to do specific numbering series for the projects that I have, or I can simply let it auto number and I can run from there. I'm going to let it auto number in this case. I can give it a description, and it's going to make me give a description, so I'm just going to do this so we know what it is, although the B is kind of important in there. I can't talk and type. And then project template. Now what the project template gives us the ability to do is to set up those things that we might do frequently, and I can have an unlimited number of project templates. So I may have, well, and here's what we see in the real world. We see businesses that have a lot of projects that are, and let's call them relatively small, with a couple of hundred tasks in it. And they do a lot of those throughout the year, and maybe even not a couple hundred tasks. Or we see businesses that have very few projects, 5 to 20 projects a year, but each one may have hundreds to thousands of tasks, and recreating those every time, no matter which side of the spectrum you're on, can be time-consuming and can be cumbersome. With templates, I can set that template up once. I can make sure in the template that all the things that I need in that template and in that project are there. And now when my people come in to create a new project, they simply grab that project from the list and say, yes, that's the template I use. And in this case, I'm going to grab time and material. And it says, wonderful, I'm going to use the project template for time and material, and we can continue moving forward. What's the status of the project? This is where we can talk about CRM capability integrating with ERP capability. Is this an order or is this a quote? If it's an order, that means it's going against a current customer, and the system is going to ask me which customer it's against and automatically link the customer to the project. Now, does that mean every customer has to be in the system for every quote I do? No. I can do a quote order or a quote project, and that can be against simply a contact. They don't have to be a customer yet. They can be against a contact in CRM, which is part of the product. So in this case, I'm going to do it against an order so that it can ask me which customer it is. It's against a customer. Now, I just mentioned it could be against a customer or contact. In this case, it's against a customer. And now I can open CRM simply by clicking the button. Tight integration between the two. Brings up my customer list, and I can say, great, which customer does this apply to? This is a quote for this particular customer. It drops that in for me, and it takes me to the next step in the process. Now we're into setup. What's the project posting group? This gets into accounting a little bit, and that's one of the reasons that your templates become important. All of this can auto-populate as needed. In this case, I did have it auto-populate for me, so the user didn't have to think about it. And then, do I have a starting date? Do I have an ending date? Do I not know? Don't have to care. I can include it or not. Doesn't matter. If I want to start setting up discounts, I can, but I don't have to, and I can take it to the next step. What's the pipeline of the project? Again, back to that integration between systems. So now I'm back to a CRM and the ERP working with the project. I can have a pipeline, and you can have any number of pipeline steps for that project, whether it's from a lead all the way through final implementation, whatever works for your business. And you can run the pipeline so you can check and see where you are and watch that as it goes through the process and still give the information that people need when they need it. What's the active budget version? That implies that there can be more than one budget. Absolutely. You actually have an unlimited number of budgets that are available. So I can use the anchor budget or a starting budget. I can use change order budgets. I can do other budgets. Whatever I need to do, I have the ability to do that, again, with rights and permissions. But I can have an unlimited number of budgets that run with this project, and I can have the budget come in as well. Who's the project manager? I can assign a project manager against the list of resources that I have as project manager capabilities. So these are the folks that could be project managers. Who are they? And then, is the project manager the same person as the project executive or the person responsible? May or may not be. That's up to you, but you have the choice. And then it asks me, what else can I do for you as we go into this project? Do I want it to create a task template for me? I'm going to say yes, because that's powerful and it saves a lot of time and effort, also saves a lot of mistakes. So we'll do yes. Do I want to create a payment schedule? I can, or I can't, doesn't matter. Do I want to create my invoicing setup? I can. Let's go ahead and say yes in this case. And then, what type of a project is it? Is it a customer project, which is likely going to be the majority of what you do? In this case, yes, let's say it's a customer project, but it also could be an internal project. I may want to track costs against it, but it may not be billable to a customer. Or is it a private project that I want to track that's just mine? And whether or not I have the ability to do that's based on security, but it could be a private project as well. So now I've asked it to create my task template, create my invoicing setup, and create my customer project. What's the KPI? So how am I tracking my deliverables? How am I tracking through the process? Is it fixed? Is it time and material? Is it something else? You get to choose. In this case, we did the T&M, so I'm going to run through that. What is the resource invoice type? Same thing. I get to choose what's there and run to the next step in the process. These are the dimensions. When you use dimensions, think about reporting capability. You have any number of dimensions available to you, whether you're, and this depends on how you want to slice the data. So the more you think about the data you want at the end of the process and the end of the project, that's how you can help set your dimensions up, and that's where you'll talk to your partner and make sure that you're doing this right using best practices that Velocio has done for years. So I can choose my dimensions, and if I've got all that information where I want it, I can simply click Finish. And now it's going to create my project for me, but it asks me, what's my task template? I told it I wanted it to create a task template for me. So let's say the work breakdown structure on this one is just a short work breakdown structure, and that's what I want to have go in. If I click the box, it asks, do I want to do just some of the tasks that are in the template or all of the tasks? In this case, I'm going to choose all and say, yes, let's close that. Now, what's my invoice setup? I can have any number of invoice setups. So yes, you can have multiple formats and multiple information. It could even be customer specific. We have seen that. So you can do the invoice setup. What's my invoice setup? Let's just say in this case, I want to do a summary invoice. And now it created project 005 for me, and I'm through the process. Now, had I not been babbling through that, that whole process can take less than 90 seconds. Very simple to create a project incorporating my ERP, my CRM, and my PSA all together, standardized, yet still allowing for the uniqueness of all of those individual projects. And just to show you what I mean by that, if I open up that project list, I can come down and find the one that we created. There's project 5. There's our webinar. It dropped in all of the tasks that I ask it to drop in, and maybe one doesn't matter. Do I want to remove a specific task? I can. I have that ability if I've been given that ability. But I have the ability to remove tasks that may not be necessary, and it walks through the process. So it gives me all the information, and I can see what's out there. Now, this doesn't tell me much because we haven't put anything in, so bear with me a second. Let's go back out to a project that I know has data in it, and if we choose this one, now I can see as this pops in, all of the information that I might need to know as a project manager or a project user, including the stoplighted information for differences in usage versus budget. All of that's at my fingertips, and it's all drillable. So if I realize that I'm $27,000 over budget, that's probably a bad thing. So do I want to know why? I can look at my resource usage versus budget. So here I budgeted 8 hours, yet they've billed 106 against it. I may want to know who did that. I can click that link, it will open up the window, and it will tell me all of the specific documents that have been pushed against this number, so against that task, to make up that 106 hours. And I can see where they are. It's completely trackable, complete audit trail, and I can follow it all the way through the process. So Dave, I think I might have gone a little further than we needed there, but I wanted to show all of the capabilities across multiple platforms. I think I've done that, but maybe not, and you'll have to tell me if we want to go from there, but I think we want to hear from Robbie at this point, do we not?
Thank you, Rich. As we recap here, I'd like to talk about some of the capabilities, both capabilities Rich showed and capabilities that maybe we didn't have time to show. You saw Rich talk about the project setup wizard and the great functionality around that, but we also have additional items inside the solution to facilitate processes. Some of those are templates that we use across things like our activities and project setup templates, our task templates. Those templates are easily created and easily used by anybody with the access in the systems. We talked about the customizability of the system, both from a user standpoint and from others. And I won't read these slides to you because I'm sure most of you or all of you hopefully can read. I'll let you do that. But we do have some things to highlight. Some of those budgeting matrix that maybe we skimmed over, you saw on screens, but there's a lot of functionality there. And some of the deep functionality that we have around billing and the ability to customize invoices either using the inbuilt solution or Microsoft Word, flexibilities in those invoices to be able to do things like milestone billing, multiple rate structures, being able to have multiple levels of approval in the billing and time and expense processes, and our customizable analytics is really powerful and really helps to drive profitability. In the financial side, this is a full financial ERP package. Being built on Dynamics 365 Business Central means that we get all of that great functionality and we just add to it. So all the general ledger, the the fixed assets management, all of the audit trails and bank and account management that you get with BC is here and extended for the project accounting firms. Our customer relationship management, the ability to drive sales through your interaction with customers and campaigns and making sure those opportunities turn into actual clients. And if you want to enhance that even more, we're fully integrated to the Dynamics 365 Common Data Services. So the ability to utilize the customer engagement application, the sales application is fully there and fully integrated. If you choose to purchase the premium account, the Dynamics 365 Business Central Premium, you get more. You get all that service order management and supply chain capabilities that comes with the solution, fully extended through the project accounting solution. The ability to dispatch and to have service contract management, the ability to produce work orders based on different factors, and that strong warehousing capability that's built in. And also some of those, the manufacturing needs. Some of our customers both are manufacturers, manufactured order specialty manufacturers, and they have needs around being able to manage that efficiently. By utilizing some of the premium features, it's all there. So the ability to replenish and handle all of the capabilities and constraints of manufacturing. So we talked about the power of the platform and the P3, as we're calling it. Never before do we feel as a small company, a small business, been able to have all the opportunities that this platform gives them. You have a single platform solution that in the past was only available to industries and companies that had very large budgets. But with this, you really have a cost-effective solution specifically built for the small to mid-market. And then why would you want to purchase it from us? Well, as you know, as hopefully you know, coming to our webinar, we have a lot of deep experience in this space. We have experience that spreads over 2 decades in professional services, thousands of customers in virtually every type of industry inside the ProServe market. We are one of Microsoft's premier, if not the premier professional services partner. We have cloud specialists. We have a history with the Dynamics SL solution that nobody can compete with. And we're gold certified across all of the solutions that we've talked about and many more. And that being a Inner Circle member, a CSP distributor, and all the things that Velocio is really gives us insight into the solution and our relationship there to be able to drive changes both in the product and know where the product's going so we can enhance it for our customers is better than anyone in the industry. So with that, I know we went a little over. We're going to open it up for questions now, and I believe, Dave, you're going to read the questions that were typed into the chat box.
So the first question we have in the top box is, do I need Office 365? We run Exchange and Office 2013.
So I'll take that. No, we do not require you to have Office 365. You can still utilize the older versions, the Office 2013, Exchange Online, all the way back to even versions older than 2013, and get many of the same benefits. But when you do have Office 365, there is capabilities, as we showed, like with some of the capabilities to interface with the cloud that you get on top of the base solution.
Okay. Can we have the same consultants have different bill rates on different projects?
I'll take that one. So the short answer is yes. The longer answer is, in many cases, a professional services firm may have a particular person, which in this case we'll call a resource, and your resource may be a different role on different projects. So on project A, the resource might simply be a consultant at a specific billing rate. But on the next project, on project B, that same resource may be a senior consultant, and we may get to charge a premium for them, and they may have a different billing rate. So yes, you can have multiple billing rates for the same people and multiple people on multiple projects. Lots of flexibility.
Okay, how do you handle change orders?
I'll take that one too. As I mentioned early on, and I kind of flew through it, so one of the ways, there are multiple ways to handle change orders. One of the ways that we have seen some of our customers handle change orders is in the budgeting process, and my change order can reflect in the budget. Now, when we think budgets, think planning as well. So that's not only a dollar value budget, but it's an hour and a planning budget. So a change order often means a difference in the plan, and the change order, if we change the plan budget, then we can follow those changes all the way through. That's one of multiple ways.
Can I have different approval flow for time versus expense?
Again, I'll take that one. Absolutely. You have the flexibility to do whatever you need to do there. I mentioned that you have multi-level approval on both time and expense, and they can be different and drastically different if they need to be.
Can you use it for internal projects?
And again, I think, or at least I should have shown that if I didn't as we ran through the wizard. One of the 3 check boxes in the wizard is internal project. So I can have a customer project, a personal project, or an internal project. So yes.
Is there a quick view of in-process project status?
Again, I'll take that one. That's another yes. If we had the time, I'd pop it open. We showed one of the project screens, the project overview screens, that would show me all of the projects that I have access to. We showed the stoplights that show red, green, or yellow as to where they are within the plan or within budget, and then the pertinent information is across there, and it's all drillable so that I can see specifically all the way down to the document level where those costs came from. So absolutely.
Okay, well, that's all that's in the queue now. If anyone does have a question, you can, Rich will be happy to answer those questions, as well as if you want a full demonstration, Rich, I'm sure, would be happy to schedule a full demonstration for more information on the solution. So anyone else have any last words?
I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I look forward to talking to you. And as you could probably tell, I kind of like the software. I'm happy to show it as often as you want.
Okay, thanks, everybody, for your time. Have a great rest of your day.